Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Food, Wine, and Whiskey in Your Own Backyard. And today, literally, we are in my own backyard. It's going to be a fun show. Going to taste some bourbon. Going to get done with that, drink some wine, cook some food, hang out with some friends. And those friends joining us today for the show and for the activities that will come after are Louis Baston. How you doing, Louis?
Doing very well. Happy to be here.
Yeah, first time having you out and getting you on the podcast. I'm looking forward to kind of hanging out with you a little bit.
Hasn't sucked so far, so
Good,
excited
good.
to be here.
Matt Carter, known by everybody as Carter, returning to the show. Look at the ladies coming out. The ladies are coming out, and they're going to give us a little blind, and we get to
these are so cute.
kind of see what we get to do here.
Hey, well, glad to be on the show, Rob. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you. Look at this.
Looking for a fun time here.
Thanks, Brent King.
Yeah.
There's,
$10 a piece.
I was going to say there's $4 of bourbon and $20 in glasses. Christopher Francis, back on the show. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, you?
Good, good.
Good. Glad to be back.
And Glenn Burnett back. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I've been good and glad to be back.
All right. Well, as we just said, the ladies came out and they told us to sit down. We're going to do a show. I'll just tell everybody what we're going to do a show on today. We are all in agreement that Wild Turkey is a distillery that we enjoy very much. And a particular bottle from Wild Turkey is the Russel Reserve single barrel that you can get. And to me, it's a great value. You can find it anywhere on the shelf. Usually, what, $50, $55, somewhere in that range?
Yep.
No more than 60 at some places. But the other cool thing about this whiskey is there's a lot of groups that are able or had been able, I don't know if there's, with COVID and all that, if they're still able to, but they do those, the barrel picks. And it's really a lot of fun. I mean, single barrel in general is, basically a barrel pick, right? But to have different groups picking, getting the chance to sample through several barrels, there's that airplane. Like I said, we're in our own backyard, so we're out back on the patio just hanging out, got the fire going so we can cook some food later,
Living the good life.
and an airplane goes by.
Well, I mean, it just adds to the ambiance,
I was going to say,
Doing it live.
when we recorded at your house, we had the choo-choo train go by.
That's right. That's right.
But Russell's Reserve, having the store picks where groups or a store went in and sampled 3, 4, 5, 8 barrels, whatever it was, and they picked the best one they liked out of those. It's just kind of fun because there's some groups or stores that have a reputation for picking some really good things, and I think we have a couple of those today. We also have a surprise from the East Coast that we were able to get our hands on, thanks to Daryl Bowman and Ben Smith. That is a fantastic pick that we get to taste through today and give our thoughts on. But before we do that, the girls brought us out a couple of bourbons each, an A and a B. They said they're going to give us a blind. We don't know what these are. No idea proof, no idea anything. And I always like doing this. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but to me this is a lot of fun just to kind of have something in front of us that we don't know what it is and try to figure it out.
Yeah, love it. Puts me to the test.
Yeah, it's always good to, revisit your palate, revisit what you like.
Especially without bias.
Well, that's what I was
Exactly,
going to say. You see things and you go, well, I know I like that because you see the label, and I do a blind on it and go, well, I didn't like it as much as I thought I did.
I mean, for me, blind tests would really help, cull the herd of my collection. Once I started really blinding them and taking the label bias away, I realized that some of the things that I thought I liked, maybe I didn't like as much as I did, or some I liked even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we start with A.
A seems very familiar to me.
Oh.
You guys I have to look at your glasses. I've got these blue Glencairns that I can't see the color of the whiskey.
Oh, man.
This is A.
You guys have the
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get much difference
they're
for the color. They're almost
pretty similar,
identical.
aren't they?
Yeah.
They're pretty young. Would be my guess.
So this is not to try to figure out what you think they are.
It's just whether you like it or not.
It's just whether you like it or not.
Okay.
And then we'll maybe this is one where you go, I really like this one. When it comes out, you go, man, I always thought I didn't like it, or whatever. To your point earlier.
All right.
But I'm not going to stop you. If you think you know what it is, fire away.
Oh, you know me. I'll just blurt it out.
Should have gone with your gut earlier, man.
Yeah, I really should have.
A drink's easy.
Okay.
And A's a little woody.
Definitely.
I agree with you, Rob. It has this familiar nose to it, though.
Yeah, it does. I haven't tasted A yet.
Woo.
B's definitely hotter.
B is a spicy gal.
That's what I was just gonna say.
I
I,
like
think
B.
it's a rye.
I don't think
That-
it's rye.
You don't think it's rye?
It might be a high rye mash.
It's a
bill.
high rye mash bill.
Yeah.
It's a bourbon.
It's not. It's not a. I don't think it's rye though. I say B's like bland.
The finish
Well, I don't
is
think
way
B's
longer than
bland
A's.
because-
No, I mean,
Oh,
A,
yeah.
Sorry, A.
Yeah.
Oh, A. Okay, I haven't tried A yet.
Finish is like great,
It's great on B.
B.
Yeah.
I love B.
Yeah, I really like B a lot. You know what? You know what B could be?
Mm.
Four Roses.
It could be.
Could be an OB recipe.
High rye mash bill.
Yeah, I could see that.
35%.
I could see that. I'm gonna go through.
A is
God,
familiar
They gave
on
me
the
so
nose.
little.
Yeah. Well, they pour them out in the little wheeze.
Yeah, you got the little wiggly Karens there.
Yeah.
And even a weir or in the wheeze.
They just wanted to tease you. Here, you'll like it, but this is all you get.
Here's a quarter ounce.
Ju-
See if you
just the
figure
tip.
out what it
I think.
Yeah.
I think they know how many bottles we got ahead
What'd
of
you
us.
say,
They're just trying
Chris?
to take
Yeah.
care of us.
Just the tip.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Just.
That's my just what she said. Bud. That's what she said.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and be bold here.
You're gonna make some. You're gonna call some shots here.
Yeah, I think A is from Heaven Hill.
You think everything's from Heaven Hill?
No, you're right, but I think it is from Heaven Hill.
I don't think A is from Heaven Hill.
I kind of do.
I don't get that profile.
It's kind of like
A to me reminds me of something I don't think I like. To be honest with you, on the nose.
I do get a little bit of the.
It's got that
I don't say
municipal.
nuttiness, but
It's very slight.
Heaven Hill can be very pecan-y.
yeah.
And I do get a little bit of that waxiness on the finish.
It's almost to me. It kind of almost tastes. It. I don't think it's larceny, but it's got that quality to it. A little bit.
It's nutty. It's nutty.
It is nutty.
But
I'm
not
gonna tell you-
peanutty. Or do you get peanutty?
I don't get peanut.
No, I get more.
So I it's not from Jim Beam because like Jim Beam I can like pick out like smack dab generally.
It's like peanut brittle.
To me, on the palate, there's a donut hole. It's like it's just fades very quick. It's not like much.
I like the finish on B way more.
Oh,
For that
yeah,
reason,
yeah,
yeah.
A
Yeah.
falls
Oh, yeah.
off,
No,
whereas
B-
B kind
Even
of.
on my palate, it's sitting there. It's just like
B is
once you
definitely
swallow,
better.
it's gone off my palate. I'm not getting.
I'm just trying to figure out what A is. Is it like? It's kind of a little corny too. Like it's I almost taste like Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond or something like that. There's that. Man, I'll tell you this. Like B, I really like, but the fact that we have a fire in the background and nosing it, and I'm smelling the fire too, it makes it even better. It's like I wish it's like
nice compliment to it.
yeah, it's a nice compliment. It's like what I wish Texas whiskey would nose like.
So what? No. Also, speaking on that, with the smoke in the background, and earlier I said B has like an apple nose to it. It reminds me of the mesquite smoke whiskey from where's that distillery in Austin? That does the rimfire and
Oh,
A
yeah,
is
Ranger
something
Creek.
I know,
Ranger
and I know
Creek,
I don't
yes.
like it. I don't like it on the palate. I don't like
On
it on
B?
the nose.
For B?
A.
Oh, A? Yeah, I don't like A that much.
To me, it's on the nose. I get like this medicine kind of nose. It's not like pleasing to my
A little
nose.
medicinal.
Yeah.
I'll challenge
It's like-
your apple and throw a very green pear on there, like
on
almost
B?
like
Yeah.
yeah, on B, like a fresh
See-
cut, like not even ready to eat pear.
Or maybe like an Asian pear.
For me, on A,
Yeah.
you get any. I don't get any fruit at all.
No.
No fruit
No.
at all.
Just on the nose.
I don't even get it on the nose.
I get very slight.
I just get that municipal. You know, it's just.
A little funkiness to it
A
too.
little star anise, to be honest.
On A.
Really?
Black licorice.
Oh yeah, it does have a little
I got the star anise for sure.
It's got a little bit of that. What I would say, like, it's gonna come off kind of bad, but like, well, I was gonna say kind of an acrid oak, but like to me, it's like almost like a coffee sort of characteristic.
B I like a lot on the
Yeah,
nose,
yeah, yeah.
on the palate, the finish. To me, if I go, which of these two do I like better? It's not even.
I
No
would-
contest.
Not even. Close.
I don't even
yeah.
know.
I think
know,
B is 100%.
Yeah, I don't know what B is, but I drink a lot of it.
For A, the finish falls off quickly. I feel like the mouth feels kind of thin.
Yeah.
Even though it is medicinal, a little like syrupy in the front, like the mid palate falls off, and then at the end,
Yeah,
it's not even there.
exactly. I agree with that. Totally. Glenn?
All right.
Curious to see what the ladies
yeah,
picked.
it's an easy drinker. There's not much to it. You know, it's not a super complex
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
whatever it is.
I'm struggling to figure out what
B,
A
I
is.
think consensus-wise, B. I think everybody likes B better.
It's
right?
a more complex. I mean,
There's
it's
more
got more
to it.
structure. It's got more.
The finish
Yeah.
is better. There's more body. There's
I took my last sip of B like probably a minute ago, and I'm still getting B.
yeah, I still get a hug from it and lingering.
A,
taste.
I think, is something that is supposed to be good, and I bought a bottle and went, yeah, that ain't good. So I'm trying to think of what I just can't get my head to go. What is this?
It's got to
very
be lower
familiar.
proof too, right?
Is
Yeah, I
that
think
one-
so.
Is it a Texas distillery?
I don't think so.
Unless the girls pick my
I don't
two
have a
Eleanors.
whole. I mean, I have a
but-
new
but I don't
elm,
think
which
they
is
did.
just so much wheat. That's all wheated whiskey.
And
I-
way higher proof, right? Those low
Yeah,
elms are
Yeah,
like-
they're
They're
like one.
super.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
super spicy. Yeah.
And you wouldn't be able to see. It looks like
It would look like
darkness in the
yes,
glass.
exactly.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm trying to think if I have any other Texas.
Dude, I think it's. I think it's Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond.
No.
A? Oh, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, if it is, I'm going to be shocked because I really enjoy
Should we find out?
Heaven Hill.
Are you talking about the-
They're going to bring the bottles
Are you
out.
talking
right
about the
now.
newest release or the 6-year?
7 year.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And what is it? $40?
Yeah.
To me, do you
It
like
used
it
to
or
be
no?
cheaper than.
No, I do like it,
Yeah.
but value-wise compared to the 6-year,
Never had the 6 year.
the 6-year was what, $16?
$16.
Oh,
So
I
talking
never had
about
that.
16, 6-year bottle and bond.
Yeah, I never
One
had
more
that.
year, a prettier looking bottle, is it worth twice as much?
But the taste.
Yeah.
Have y'all side
Well, I
by
mean-
side them?
I have not blinded them.
I have, and the 7
7
is
years
way better,
better?
for me.
I
For,
would
for
believe
my
it.
profile, for my
Yeah.
taste profile, it's a
But
lot more
is it
char.
$30 better?
Well, is
Really?
I think
Okay.
so.
Bold statement.
is 107 $30 better?
Not
Because
at
they
all.
put a cork in it.
Not at all.
No. It's so depressing. So 107 for forever was my daily drinker.
Yeah.
I could find a bottle for $26.
Yeah.
It was my go-to, what I love to start off with. But now that it's $62,
Yeah, I'm like,
I might
Really?
next time I see it at the store, I might even pass on it because
Uh-oh,
I'm
here
not
we
sure
go.
it's worth $70.
here we go, fellas.
Bring it, Sandra.
It is the
Here we
the
go.
reveal.
We got to know which is which. I think I'll know just by
Oh,
seeing it.
okay. I'm gonna
Look
close.
away.
All right, I'll close my eyes.
It's definitely not a Brown Foreman.
Yeah.
Anything is in here is
It's a
Brown.
Brown Foreman.
No.
Ready?
Yep. You gonna put them on?
Ta-da!
Can we look? You put them on the table.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
That's got to be B.
That has to be B.
So
Which one's B?
So
A is
William
the
Heaven
baker.
Hill
right
has
hand.
to be B.
A is the baker, so that's nutty.
Yeah.
yeah,
This one's A?
that's
Yeah,
A.
it's
Yeah.
And this one's B?
Yes.
Wrong.
Really?
B,
Holy shit.
B, A.
No freaking way.
Rest in peace.
That's a big rip.
So
Okay.
are you gonna pour down the
Wow.
drain? You me go pour it down the drain for you?
No.
You sure?
I think we need
Yeah.
a bigger pour of it.
I really like that one.
Me too.
Before I did that.
Hey.
You want to pause the recording?
You
Okay.
said-
First of all, did I call it when I said Heaven Hill A?
You did
Yeah,
call
you
it.
did call it.
So just for everybody listening, the Heaven Hill A is the 13-year bottled and bond William Heaven Hill, which is at the distillery. What, $200 a bottle?
Yeah.
175.
Yeah.
Did I will also another brag here? Did I not also say it was Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond?
Yes, you did.
You didn't say which bottle.
I did. No, I was not referring to this, but yeah.
You know what? It's been a while since I've had the Bakers, but I really liked that.
Yeah.
Had a nicer finish. I mean, how shocked are we?
I mean, they're
That's the
singing-
best release.
Oh,
that
this is
they've
the
had.
best
8,
release
6.
that they've had.
I'll-
in a while,
8 years,
though.
6 months is the best.
I like
had
Jim
the-
Beam, so.
This bottle is fantastic.
Yes. I've had their 7-year, 2
Sadly.
months, or whatever, 8-year, 2
8 year,
months,
2
and
months.
neither one are.
No, I have
That's
about
why that one won
that much left of that.
the whatever it was.
You know,
I like that one.
I almost brought the 13-year Baker's release. It would have been cool to compare both 13-year.
We've done that with but Daryl's 13, and I like that one. The 8-year, 6-month. I mean, I'm specific there because
This one
I've
is
had the
good.
That's the
8-year,
one that's won all
and
the
I've had the
awards.
7-year, 2 months, and I didn't like either. I didn't like them, but this one was fantastic. That Baker's 107.
You know, it's crazy. The last
7-year.
blind I did with the William Heaven Hill 13-year, I blinded against the 17-year Wild Turkey release.
Okay.
Because they're both bald and bond, same retail price, around $175.
Yep.
And the William Heaven Hill blew it away. We did it with a group of 4 people, and everybody unanimously picked the William Heaven Hill over the Wild Turkey 17-year. So crazy to see this Baker single barrel kind of blow it out of the water.
Were
For
we just
$55?
weren't we all in agreement that B was better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
Unanimous.
by far,
That blows me away.
dude.
To
I'm
your-
I'm literally shocked. Now, of all of the Jim Beam offerings, I do like Baker's the best.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, so
Better than Booker's?
I do like it better.
What
well,
about
other
that?
than
What about that Knob Creek Andy's pick?
That Andy's pick is pretty solid.
okay, there are exceptions to this rule. Okay, but yeah, generally speaking, and Booker's Country Ham.
Little Book 3 was also pretty fire.
But I'm going to tell you, it's
Yeah.
funny
I was a
that
big
when
fan of Little Book 3.
it's just funny when you do blinds and you compare something to something else.
Oh my gosh.
Because when I opened that up a couple weeks ago by myself, and I'm talking about the William Heaven Hill, I thought it was fantastic, and I messaged you guys, and I said, when you guys come over this week, we'll
Yeah.
try it.
We did. Yeah,
and
we did
you
last
tried
weekend.
it last weekend and went, this is fantastic. And then to put it against the Bakers, you would think we would pick that Heaven Hill all day long.
I'm gonna blame it all on these small
The tiny-
glasses.
yeah,
and the
I'm
fire
not getting
going.
the nose.
But I didn't have small glasses.
well, we're going to
But
blame
you
it
still
on
had the fire.
the wood back there.
Maybe
but no,
Baker's
just-
goes better in the fall months
smoke?
with the smoke. I don't know.
But just on the palate and on the finish, it disappointed me a little bit today.
Dude, I am shocked.
Yeah.
I am actually shocked.
I am
And now
too.
I think, like, am I a terrible whiskey judge of whiskey?
Now you have a great palate. I'll be the first to say that you have a really good palate. So
Holy crap.
maybe it's our mood, maybe it's the wood smell that just made that. Who knows? But
This
yeah.
this
and
is
the
like
girls
one of the
stacking it in our, like,
Yeah.
against
You know
us.
what? Maybe my wife got it wrong. Maybe she screwed that up. That's.
I mean, she
possible.
said B for Bakers. I mean, I think
Well,
they
pour
probably.
me a little bit more of A.
Y'all want to try a little more of A? See what
Yeah, I
we
mean,
got?
let's see.
mean,
Let's see
we're
if
already
it's
here.
good.
We got,
I don't
we got it
know.
in front of us.
I know a guy with another bottle. I know 2 guys with another
Yeah.
bottle.
Just a little bit. I should be able to tell. Like right off the bat.
Man, mine's already halfway gone. That's how much I liked it. We were in Kentucky, 3 weeks ago?
Oh yeah.
And I'm already half, maybe 2/3 done with my bottle.
I want to try a little more.
I mean, we might as
You
well.
want to try a little more?
I'm gonna put it against the Bakers right now. Like I'm gonna do this over again, sort of.
Not blind.
This is the best.
Blind,
This
not
is
blind.
one of the best Bakers releases.
It is.
I actually went through that bottle pretty quick, and I got to a point where I couldn't find any more. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop drinking it for a while.
You know, they would have done a lot better, like if this bottle stopper was actually like metal instead of plastic. Anyway,
I think they should have just done a cool wooden one or something.
that would have been also better.
You'll pass that one down.
You want to try it against it? No, Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it on the comeback.
Okay. I'm just shocked, man. And to be honest with you,
Without A.
because the only criteria we gave the ladies was to be in a similar proof.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't necessarily know what's thought of to be a high-end bottle or a lower, mid-range, whatever.
They're
No, I
both
mean-
good. It's just I prefer the Bakers.
No,
I mean, right
it-
now, even without trying A, just trying B, the finish just falls off.
On B?
I guess I poured in the wrong glass on the
Oh,
Bakers?
you need the Bakers.
on the Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, you have enough.
No, I need the
He
Bakers.
needs Bakers
I
now.
poured
he
it in.
poured the Heaven Hill in the other
Dude,
glass. Yeah,
the Baker's finish is ridiculous.
it's just full bodied.
I mean, it's just good on the palate, too.
It's kind of like my one quibble with it is that it is slightly, hate to say this, drying. I don't know if you've ever like
Like tannins in wine that just kind of dry your
it kind
palate
of
up.
dries out your whatever's going on your tongue there a little bit.
That could be from the wood,
Yes, oak
from
tannins.
the oak tannins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that's
I'm not getting
if
a lot
I'm,
of that.
I'm
are
getting
you?
I'm
Not.
On which?
On the William Heaven Hill.
I'm
Right?
getting
Yeah.
super specific here though.
Yeah.
Like
No, I get a lot of drying on William Heaven Hill over Baker's.
really? Now I get it more on the Bakers, but I'm
But-
complaining over like
Baker's chill filtered or not?
I think it's not.
I don't think it's chill
The Baker's definitely burns more.
Yeah.
I
it's-
like that.
I don't
And-
think. I think this is chill filtered.
that would be a good.
And the Baker's is a 7-year bottle, with this William Heaven Hill, as we said, is a 13-year. So you would think, just being in the barrel that long, you would just think you're going to get a little bit more of that barrel flavor. You know, just some more baking spice, some more vanilla, some more, you know, maybe some honey.
You usually, I don't know. I would think the alcohol would die down because it evaporates more.
Right, and then they got to proof it down to 100 because
Right.
it's probably coming. But
Well, you just bottle
I'm
less.
still surprised that there's just. Here, I'll say it this way. Elijah Craig 18 gets beat up a lot, but I think there's more flavor in Elijah Craig 18 than when I was just getting out of that William Heaven Hill. You agree?
I agree.
I think one thing is for certain. I'm gonna go find another bottle of this.
Can't.
I'll,
Well,
I'll
you
trade something tater.
Challenge
for.
accepted. Challenge accepted.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you this. Every time I go to a store, I go look. If they have Bakers, I look at that tag and see if they got an 8-year, 6-month.
Yeah, I look at the
I look
entire
every
stack
single
of what
time.
they
I
got.
go back, yeah, because that is so good. I was just like, holy cow.
What would be interesting, Rob, is to run this one against like a Weller 107, like similar proof,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just do it like just a run.
Or even Jim
Because
Beam single barrel at 108 proof.
Yeah, well, I guess the point that I was going to make here was that you've got a definite like bottle that's hard to find, you know, a 107, and then Baker's pretty much sits on the shelf, you know.
The only thing I would say with that is, again, I've had the other Bakers that's out there, the 7-year,
it's not
2
as
months,
good.
the 8-year, 2 months. They don't hold I don't even buy. I've tasted them at other people's house. I'm like, I ain't buying that. But if I can find that 8-year,
what if-
6-month,
What about a Weller store pick, like a good one? Because I
that would be interesting.
because that would be a single barrel product as well.
Yeah, just that I wish you could find more of this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure somewhere in the country, if you put a search out for it on a secondary and try to get one, there's probably somewhere where they just sit on the shelf. We just don't. It's just not here.
I'm honestly blown away because I think about it because I've owned 2 bottles of this.
Both 8-year, 6-month.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got 2 of them when they first came out,
Yeah.
and I killed the first bottle like quickly because I was like, this is amazing. But I didn't like even really think about it like as this is a fantastic whiskey. I thought of
Right.
it as like really good whiskey, and it's something you could, you know, have as your daily
Right.
drinker, like whatever. And then I'm about that much like I've got a quarter left of the second bottle.
Wow.
So and it just sits on my shelf.
Yeah, I'm about the same. I got like about a quarter left, and I'm just nursing it.
And here I was going earlier on going, yeah, I've had this, and I know it's going to be something that's really good, but I know it's going to be one I don't like, and it's not. It's one that I've had, and it's supposed to be really good, and it is one that I've said,
Just comparatively.
oh, that's fantastic, man. And now I'm going,
It's actually a shame that this isn't on YouTube to see our reactions.
yeah.
Like
See everybody's faces when the
like,
reveal came out.
Okay, here's
That's
what
But
your
I
next
think-
challenge, Rob, is start buying cameras.
I already have them, dude. I have cameras,
But-
lights, microphones, everything.
I think this just speaks to how good that Baker's is because we were comparing these two, not to other stuff that we've had during the day. It was just these two.
Mhm.
But honestly, I think just Baker's in general, people have been sleeping on it for forever. It's one of the first things that when I got into whiskey, even, you know, not so long ago,
I love the old one.
2-3
too.
years ago,
Yeah.
even when it was a small batch,
Yeah.
you could find that on the shelf anytime, sub $40, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
always delivered. Where there's people out hunting, you know, whatever else, you know, compare this to Blandon's, You can find this every day on the shelf.
I think that's with a
It's
lot
incredible.
of Jim Beam products, though.
True.
Posts.
I mean,
lot
the
of
fact
stuff.
that they're store picks, you can get a 15-year sub $50,
Not
120 proof.
pre-picked.
Not
Like
it's
the Andes pick.
Yeah.
Have you
incredible
had that?
value. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
One of
Andes
my
pick?
favorites. Yeah,
Oh, it's the best one ever.
it's
so
really, really, really good.
It is really good.
The rice marshmallow Merit Badge pick is also
I haven't
pretty
had that one
solid.
yet.
Or the blind pick. Is that a blind pick?
I think that was blind pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I picked, for our mixer last weekend. That's why I picked just the Jim Beam white label.
Yeah.
$20 for a handle.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible booze for
It has
like
a lot of flavor
mixing.
for mixed with like a
you know.
Coke.
Have any of you
That was a
guys
mixer,
had
yeah.
the 107 or the 108 single barrel?
Mm-mm.
The new one that's out?
I'm
Mm-mm.
not.
It's really good.
Really?
I put it close to that.
Wow. Okay.
It's-
well, I
it's
guess I need to
30
get one.
And
It's like right
108?
around 38. It's 108 proof. It's about just over $30.
Because I do like, I think you turned me on to it, was the Evan Williams single barrel. Have you had that?
Yeah.
Oh,
$86
yeah.
bucks.
Some of them
86
are
proof.
Yeah, if you can get
fantastic.
the 8, I've seen 8 and 9 year ones, and they're phenomenal.
Okay, after we all look like idiots with these two bourbons right here, we're going to ask the listeners to trust us in what we're about to tell you about these Wild Turkey Russell's Reserve. All right, quick break in the podcast just to give you a little information, a little clarification. Had a lot of fun just doing that blind with the guys, but turns out, as blown away as we were, that we couldn't believe that we just blinded William Heaven Hill against Baker 7, and William Heaven Hill showed as badly as it did. Turns out we actually didn't taste William Heaven Hill 13-year bottled and bond. What we actually had was Heaven Hill bottled and bond, the 7-year. So it was actually it was actually the Heaven Hill bottled and bond 7-year versus Baker 7, 8-year, 6-month, which again, the Bakers just blew it away. And I'm still a little surprised because I really like the Heaven Hill bottled and bond. But just for the listeners to know that, you might be thinking, what in the world? How can Heaven Hill, just be blown away like that? Just wanted to jump in here, let you guys know we found out later in the night that actually wasn't the case. My wife had made a mistake, and it kind of came out when we were talking to the ladies about, how the blind went, what we thought about the bottles, what we thought about how they did in picking a couple bottles, for us to blind. And I had pointed to the William Heaven Hill and just said to Yana, Matt's wife, I can't believe this didn't do any better than it did. And she said, you didn't taste that. And I go, yeah, this is the one Sandra brought out. She goes, no, you didn't taste that. And so getting Brittany in, who actually picked the 2 bottles for us, who did a great job, she confirmed that, yeah, you didn't taste the William Heaven Hill 13-year. You actually tasted the Heaven Hill bottled and bond 7-year. So my wife, made a mistake and had hid the bottles in a cabinet in our wine room. And when she went to pull those 2 bottles out, she pulled the William Heaven Hill by mistake. So all in all, we thought it was a lot of fun. Honest air, gave us some good content on the podcast, but just wanted to give that clarification to you guys in case the bourbon people out there are going, holy cow, I can't believe William Heaven Hill didn't hold up better than that. It actually does. We actually didn't taste it. But anyway, let's get into some Russell's Reserve. Let's get back to the podcast and enjoy the rest of the show. It's all opinion because
Where do we want to start?
Russell's Reserve, you want to tell people about what it is? Because they're all the same. Tell them a little bit about what Russell's Reserve is.
I mean, these are all private barrel picks that we're going through. I mean, how many do we have here?
5.
1, 2, 5. So all of them are picks in a store has gone out, selected them either in the store, like where Turkey has sent them samples, or gone to the distillery to do a single barrel pick.
I believe they're all 110 proof, right?
They're all
Right,
110.
always.
Yeah.
And I also hear that if you go to Wild Turkey and do one of these picks, that there's a good chance that you might get to pick with Eddie Russell.
Yes.
And I heard that there's a little pressure when he's there. He's already
Yeah.
kind of sampled through what he put out for you and kind of thinks in his mind
what you should
what
pick.
you should be
Yeah.
picking.
Yeah.
This is the best of the bunch, and let's see if these guys can pick it.
Should we talk about what Russell's
have? Yeah, I think
is
so.
versus just a regular Wild Turkey lineup?
Yeah.
Sure.
So Russell's, from what I understand, is they're it's the same mash bill. They only have 2 mash bills. They have the rye and they have their bourbon. So the Russells have gone through and cherry picked what they feel is worthy of the
And
Russell's line.
Tell them who Jimmy and Eddie are, just so people who don't know, people in the bourbon world are going to know, but people who are listening, going, okay, I'm trying to get into bourbon. Who's this Russell people they keep talking
Yeah,
about?
so Jimmy and Eddie Russells, Eddie's the oldest.
No, Jimmy's the oldest.
Jimmy's the oldest.
Yeah.
He's like 90, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's pushing 90.
I got to
anyway.
meet him when I went to Kentucky for the very first time.
Man, that'd
too.
be awesome.
Super cool.
Yeah, but yeah, they're founders. They're not founders. I mean, they're the people at
Jimmy Russell
Wild
has
Turkey.
been at Wild
Wild
Turkey
Turkey,
since
yeah.
1947. Think about that.
Yeah.
Been the master distiller, I think, since 54.
Does he also like
Yeah.
smoke his own like country hams?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's
you
why
have-
that pick is so good.
Bookers.
So obviously a Wild Turkey product to what you're saying.
You're thinking
Eddie
of
Russell is his
No,
son.
But yeah.
And then who's the third Russell that's there? There's Eddie's son is there.
Jimmy.
No, Eddie's
Ed-
son.
Oh,
Uh,
it's on the bottle.
I'll think of it in here in just a second.
Freddie.
Is it Freddie?
No,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the nose.
Is Lewis on it? With
Oh,
Google?
yeah, I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's been there so long that I don't know if it was his request or if it was something through the marketing and PR department that said, hey, Eddie and Jimmy, you guys need to come out with your own line. You know where we can find it? This is their family reunion. I wonder if all 3 of them are on here. Jimmy, Eddie.
It's the other bottle that has him on it.
Oh, it's the other one that has all 3.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of him. But anyway, he was there so long they let him
I think
start.
it's Bruce.
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 That's it.
It's gonna be the next generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that inspired or did the Cornerstone, and because he's a rye fan.
Mm.
He did the cornerstone?
Yeah, and then
Good
that
job.
and then rare breed rye.
Which has
Which is
quickly
what they were
become
pushing.
one of my favorite ryes.
I really, really liked it. I don't know if I love the price point. You know, when you find the rare breed for, I think at $40, the rare breed is
A steal.
the best whiskey at that price point.
Right.
It's hard to find something better, as consistent, as delicious.
You have to think though that the corn price versus rye price. I'm talking
and just
about
how much
I'm
harder it is
bulk-
to distill.
No, yeah. So just the raw material is so
Mhm.
much more expensive. It's more of a pain in the ass to just ferment, like mash, ferment,
Right.
and distill. Well, distilling is about the same.
Well,
But-
they talk about how, like, you know, when you're distilling a rye whiskey, especially if it's got, the more rye it has, it, like, literally gunks up the machine. It's like a thicker, stickier.
Yeah, as a
Oh,
home
really?
brewer,
Yeah, like, so to move it through the machines,
Yeah.
it just takes more energy. It
I
takes,
didn't know
more,
that.
it's a
Yeah.
lot
It's
harder.
more glucose.
Right.
Yeah, that's why Canadian Mist is so expensive.
I didn't know the process was that, but I
Yeah.
knew the materials costed more, and that's why typically ryes cost more
yeah.
than.
As a home brewer, I 100%.
So you've experienced it
understand.
yourself. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why they don't make.
ryes and wheat are just horrible to deal with.
Well, I mean, they make 100% corn whiskeys all the time, but they don't make 100% rye all the time, just because how hard it is to manipulate that rye and get it to
Bullock's
go through
almost
the-
there. 95.5.
95.5, yeah.
But they have that 5% malted barley for the enzymes
Yeah, right.
Finish
To
the
break down
sugar.
the
To
sugars.
help break down the
Correct.
sugars.
Okay, so I got a question for you, Lewis. You talked about the price point on the rye with rare breed rye. Have you compared it to Pikesville from Heaven Hill?
So Pikesville is honestly what my gateway into ryes. I would put Pikesville up against anything. It's a barely legal rye,
Yeah.
so it's very much
52 or 53%.
I think it's 51.
So
Oh, is it just
is,
51? I thought it was a
yeah.
little over
Rare
that.
breed rye.
And
from
so
what I
is Old
understand.
Forester.
Rare breed
Yeah.
is 52 or 53.
Okay.
So it's right
They're
there
all
with
low.
it.
Right,
yeah.
those barely legal. They have a lot of those characteristic bourbon notes in them, so you still get a little bit of that, you know, barrel
Corn
vanilla
and-
corn.
So I
right.
tasted them against each other. We tasted them against each other, and I said I liked the rare breed rye better. Then we did a blind with them
And you pick the Pikesville.
later on, not that same day, but later on, and still picked the
rye
rare
breed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And the price point difference is what, like the rare breed rye is 62 and the Pikesville is like 50?
I get the rare breed. I can get it for like 52, the rare breed rye.
Okay.
I can get the Pikesville for about 44. So it's about
So
an 8 to 10.
it's comparable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that far off. Now, I know some places you'll see the rare breed up close to 60.
Yeah.
I know 57, 58, you see it at some places, but you can find it less than that.
Have you
See,
ever heard of Old Forester rye? You can get it for like $20.
I've heard of it for mixing.
Ouch!
Some
Burn.
some good old fashioned.
No,
Some
but-
Manhattans.
But
Head Manhattan.
Oh, Manhattan. Chris can give you a good vermouth. What?
yeah, the most expensive one on the shelf. It's a running joke.
That's for another show.
but I will say, like, one thing that I got, and I will be the first to admit, of the group, I don't know what everybody's opinion of wild turkey is, but mine is probably like they're lower on my list of the distillers. Just that I don't like their offerings as much, but I will say I really enjoy their rye, and there's a mouthfeel thing with the rare breed rye that I really like. That's very similar to I don't know if you've ever had like a Scotch before and gotten a creamy type of taste to it. Rare breed rye has a creamy aspect to it that
Yes.
is extremely enjoyable, and I don't know, probably just me, but I'm a fan.
Well, that was us. A little bit off topic there, but still on wild turkey. But Russell's Reserve started tonight. Let's jump in. And,
Yeah.
Let's go through first. Again,
Let's see what we got.
you can get this on the shelf, and it won't be a store pick, but it's still going to be a single barrel. It's always a single barrel, always 110 proof. But I'm going to read the labels of who we're going to be drinking, who's done these picks. We have one from H-Town. That's an older pick, and you can tell the older picks because they have that little tag that they put on top. And then we have one from Benny's out of Chicago. We have one from Paddock and Whiskey, which is out of South Carolina, which is a fantastic bottle. What is this one?
Like
Kentucky Ghost.
That's
That's
Hocus
from
Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
The one with the wax.
Yeah.
Matt. Thanks, Matt.
It's such a pain in the ass to open.
Oh my gosh. And then the last one is from Mississippi, from Lincoln Road Package, Winter 2020. So
All right.
this is in my hand, so we'll start with this one. I'm gonna jump back.
Are we gonna do five different glasses to do comparisons?
Well, I think we
or-
should.
Yeah.
Conveniently, we
have
have
five
five different
different
glasses.
glasses.
Conveniently, we do have 5 different glasses.
All right,
in front of us.
let's pour these and we'll get started.
Let's go for it.
So we are back with our pours. How are we lining these up so we're all in the same order, left to right? Somebody just pick what you got and we'll just follow suit.
So I went with the H-Town pick,
Okay?
the Hocus Pocus pick.
Which is Hocus Pocus was,
KG for us. KG, Kentucky Ghost.
yeah, Kentucky Ghost. Okay.
Then I went with the Lincoln Road pick, which is
Which
the
Mississippi.
Mississippi. Went with the Chicago pick,
Benny's.
and I went with the South Carolina pick. I just
Alright.
went in distance from Houston, I think.
Well, you put some thought into it because I just lined them up and poured them.
Yeah.
So we'll go with yours. And hey, we're in the Houston area, so H-Town first. I think that's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So
ground
you
zero.
save the best for last.
Which one? The South Carolina?
H-Town.
Oh, I'm going left to right.
It's okay.
Now the H-Town pick, I think and tell me if I'm wrong, but out of what we have, this is the one that's oldest. Not in aged, as far as barrels, but been out on the streets the longest. One, I know that because it has a tag on it, and they did away with that last year or the year before. How long did they?
I think it was this year.
This year,
that
yeah.
They
This year.
did
Yeah.
away with the tag.
But the H-Town pick has been out for a couple of years, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the reason they did away with the tags is because they're so
They
easily
fall off.
switched.
Yeah.
Right. They can
Yeah.
They can
Well,
fall
you just put it.
off.
I always thought that I could take that tag, put it on just one off
A
the shelf,
regular-
and call it a pick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tags.
Tags, because you can cheat and take it off that, keep that for yourself, put it on a different one, sell it on secondary, and often there you go.
Yeah, or even the distributor, as in shipping, they fall off
And just put it on a bottle.
or just slap it on a
That's a good
bottle or
point, too.
something like that. It's just, I think it makes more sense to put it on the label.
Just have the
Unfortunately,
information
I
on the
like,
sticker.
for me, I like doing what I did there, where you can see
I wrapped it around the neck so you can sort of see just on your shelf. You can just look down the back and see. Okay, this is this one. This is I want 3 back.
So we have
Versus pulling
two.
them all out
We
or
have
whatever.
2 with the tags. I
Yeah.
thought we only had 1. We have 2.
Mm-hmm.
That we have that
The Hocus Pocus has got the tag too.
Yeah.
So we got 5 Russell's Reserve, all single barrels. Let's
All non-chill filter, all the same
non-chill
proof,
filtered, same
just
exact thing.
different warehouses, different ages.
Slightly different ages. They're all pretty close to 10 years.
Almost 10
Between
years.
9
Yeah.
and 10 years, all of them. So pretty solid. And again, we were talking earlier about Wild Turkey. I know you said, Matt, it's not
Top
one
on
of
your
your
list.
favorites.
It's not my go-to.
On that topic, I'm going to tell you that Wild Turkey and Heaven Hill are my 2 absolute favorites for a couple of reasons. One, I think their products are fantastic. I think you get a great value as far as price, and they're accessible. I mean, obviously, we all love Buffalo Trace and what they can put out, but finding that is just so difficult. So if I had to go around the horn a little bit, what's your favorite distilleries where you can go out if you run out of a bottle, you finished it, you want to go buy another one, what's your favorites that you can go get on an everyday basis?
I'll go ahead and start. I just ran out of a bottle of 1920 last night. Monday morning, or Monday sometime, I will go run and get another bottle of 1920.
That was a loaded question because I forgot you just absolutely love
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
A huge fan. But if I'm gonna I don't know about rank, but I like Brown Foreman. I like Buffalo Trace. I like maybe more of the sweeter forward rather than the nuttier forward or earthier distilleries.
Brown Foreman's a great one too. I'm not going to lie though, I've only had the 1920, the barrel proof that just came out from Longhorn, and the 1910. I've not had any of their other. I'm lying again.
So would
You
Beam
guys shared the 2 picks that you guys did,
Yeah.
and you shared the picks from Bourbon Hounds, which were fantastic. They
Oh,
did
yeah.
a couple good picks
Oh yeah.
on
Definitely.
those 90 proofs.
Those are great. The Longhorn's fantastic. That pick. But I'd also say if you can, I've never tried King of Kentucky, but I've heard nothing but good things. I know it's a very expensive bottle.
Yeah.
And then secondary is an extremely expensive bottle. President's Choice is also extremely good. Last year's birthday bourbon, big fan. I've had a few other birthday bourbons that I liked. Statesman, not as huge of a fan. 1915, I'm a huge fan.
1915.
The poor man's birthday bourbon.
The poor man's birthday, yeah. I might like it better than most birthdays.
I love your 1915 bottle. You got the sticker. You got the strap going across the cork on top.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's official.
It looks good, man.
It does
All
look
I need
good.
is a shrink wrap.
And I would say by next Saturday at Greek night, that'd be ready to be popped.
Oh, it's already been popped.
It has been popped.
Yeah, and it is fantastic.
Damn you, man.
I know.
How about waiting for a friend?
Well,
Don't tell me you popped it with friends and I wasn't there.
well, I'll bring it tomorrow night, and we can all Actually, we should do a 1910, a 1915, and a 1920 comparison.
We'll do that. That'll be one of the next shows.
or
That'll
a
be
birthday
fun.
bourbon?
Yeah.
Chris, top 2 or 3, whatever you want to throw out that you really like.
Definitely Brown Foreman, and then probably again Jim Beam. I like the
Jim Beam's a
Vegas.
good one.
I like Booker's.
The
I
Knob
like
Creek
Knob
stuff's
Creek
available and quality, good price.
Aged.
aged.
That Baker's we just had.
It didn't
I mean,
suck.
It
It definitely
It
did
definitely
not
didn't suck,
suck.
so.
And I agree with you. You said earlier that gets kind of lost. People don't realize how good Bakers can be.
I mean, I feel like people have been sleeping on it since before it was a single barrel, and so much so that Jim Beam decided to completely repackage, remarket, and
Yeah.
sell it as something else because people weren't really buying it. But I feel like it's been an amazing value and an amazing pour since way back.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Glenn, you're up.
Yeah, so I would go Wild Turkey 1, Heaven Hill 2, Beam 3.
Okay. Lewis?
I mean, if you don't know me, you know that I'm or if you do know me, you know I'm a big Four Roses guy. So the Four Roses single barrel at $40 MSRP. I don't think you can go wrong. I don't think there's that many whiskeys that are better than that. It's bottled and bond proof, 50%. The OBSV recipe is a higher rye, so it's got enough spice, enough rye on it to really give you some depth of flavor. But to me, it's always very rounded, very balanced, and can't really miss.
I wish they would release all the recipes
At the 50 proof?
at that, so you could go through and try all of them. So like I've had that one, and I'm just it's okay. It's not my favorite. I like other stuff better, but I'm not really experienced that much with Four Roses in the different recipes.
Well, back in the day, you could find those single barrel proofs for $56, which was only at that time $15 more than the standard offering. So back in the even a year and a half ago, it was a steal. Now that the market's climbing up and it's at $80, I can see why it would be a little
It's hard
cost
to swallow.
prohibitive. Yeah, a little bit hard to try
even
something
finding
new.
them, even seeing them in the store, I never see those. It's always just a regular single barrel. There's not a whole lot of stores I go to that have their own pick or.
I will tell you that I have all 10 recipes now, finally, but they've all come through trading on secondary. I have not ever found one in the wild.
Right, right.
How about that, Chris?
Hey. Color me tater.
Tater! I've never found one in the wild either, to your point. And I agree. The other thing, Four Roses brings me up. I love that pick. What else do you like, Lewis?
I was gonna say, second place, it's kind of a toss-up between Wild Turkey and Heaven Hill.
Okay.
The Heaven Hill standard offerings, the Elijah Craig barrel proof at $45, $50 retail, I think.
Evan Williams.
Is a super seal. The Evan Williams, we talked about the single barrel earlier, at $22.
Yeah,
Or the
26
bottled
bucks.
in bond for
Super,
like
super
$12.
good.
Yeah.
But I feel very similar with Wild Turkey, rare breed at $40 retail, basically almost barrel proof.
116.8 proof.
It's supposed to be a mixture between I think 6, 8, and 10-year barrels.
It's actually
Or
6, 8, and 12.
Yeah.
Oh, 6, 8, right. So I mean, it's hard to beat the value associated with that. It always
Yeah.
has tremendous depth of flavor, readily available. Just some overall really good stuff. What about yourself?
Four Roses, getting back to that just real quick. I think I mentioned it to you guys before, Chris and Matt, and maybe even you, Glenn. I've never had their small batch select or their small batch, and I know you're a big fan of the small batch, Carter.
I am indeed. I think it's the best daily drinker that you can get.
30, $32, whatever it is. I need to pick up a bottle. I just haven't done it yet. I fell in love with Four Roses, to your point, but it's been more exploring the store picks and the different recipes, which I think are really cool. And for people who don't know, bourbon people know, but the OB is the higher rye, 35% in their mash bill. The OE is still high rye to me. It's 20% rye, but it's lesser in the rye. And they make the same recipe just with the difference in the rye, 35 and 25. So an OBSV and OESV. And it's just been fun to kind of explore and go through those. And we're going to do a show coming up on all 10 recipes, which will be an Uber kind of day.
Man, would love to be a part of that.
Yeah.
They have, not only do they have the 2 different mash bills, they have the 5 different yeast strains.
Right.
So, 10 completely different,
Spice,
basically
and floral,
recipes.
and, yeah.
Right. So, you have your Qs, which are floral, your Vs, which are creamy, Os, which are fruity,
The herbs
so on. And, as someone that loves Four Roses so much, it's cool that within each separate recipe, there's so much variance and flavor, and it really makes it exciting to kind of explore through all the 10 different recipes.
Yeah, I mean, think about, say, like Brown Foreman, which has that typical banana profile that comes from that yeast. And most distillers use just it's like a turbo distilling yeast. And so it's very neutral. There's not a lot that comes out of that. And so, a lot of the flavors that are coming out, and most distillers, they only pick the heart, like they don't do a lot from the heads or the tails of the cuts. So a lot of the flavor comes from that yeast. And so I think it's really interesting for Four Roses, to have the 5 different yeast strains. I've never had the opportunity to taste those, side by side. But I think that would be an amazing experience to try them like that.
Well, we almost got to try all
10 recipes.
10 recipes.
At your recent barrel pick?
Yeah, so we got 9.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
That's cool.
9 different recipes, and there was. What
remember-
was the process, Luis? Was it 3 hours, 4 hours. I mean, it took us.
I think we total time was like 3 hours 15 minutes at Four Roses, hanging out with Mandy, just having her really let us like roll out the red carpet and really let us, explore what Four Roses is all about. She started off kind of talking about why she was so passionate about the brand, and then really letting us, get in there. So much so that the barrel that we originally picked as our favorite, it only had, she told us, less than 6 cases.
I wanted to mention that.
Or less than 10 cases left. So
You guys still picked an OBSO, which is going to be a great.
Oh yeah.
I mean, out of the options, we picked an incredible barrel that we were all very happy with. But the one that originally stole our hearts,
The
she was
recipe was?
it was an OBSF
OBSF.
Yeah.
that was sub 60 bottles.
Yeah.
And the most heartbreaking part about the situation was like, well, if you guys don't pick it, we're just gonna dump it in Yellow Label because no one wants to pick a barrel that only has 60 bottles in it.
Yeah.
The
It's
store
not
would
cost
have to.
effective for
Yeah, I mean, it's a store owner.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
The store would have to sell the bottles for $200 just to break even on the
the barrel.
on the price of the barrel.
But boy, did we try and get a sample to take home with us.
Did you really?
Did not happen. But
We did get an extra pour at the end. We cheers it to Al Young.
It had one of the most incredible noses that I've ever smelled, ever.
The bouquet was silly. I'm more of a finish guy than a nose guy, but the nose on that OBSF won our hearts, right?
Oh, yeah.
First thing you smell, you're like, okay, this is something special.
Well, I had it in my book.
Were you all in agreement? You, Louis, Paul, everybody was in agreement?
No, but Luis and I were. Pretty much almost like pick
The whole
for
way,
pick,
yeah.
I mean, we had maybe one swapped,
Right.
but I mean, really.
And like we meant, I'm more of a finish guy. He's more of a nose guy. So in the end,
You balanced each other out.
Right. I picked the one that was had a better finish to me, and he picked the one that was more of a better nose.
And it ended up being the same one.
At the very end, it did.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, my point in asking the question or bringing that topic up was, I've not had, as you heard me say, the small batch select, but I know it's made up of 6 of the 10 different recipes that Brent picked out and put in there. Does anybody know, do you know, since you're just a fanatic of Four Roses, I'm hoping it's not like OBSB, the single barrel. Every year it's the same 6 recipes. Is he going to switch that up every year?
I thought it changed this year.
No.
Every year is the same.
It
stuff.
See, that's
is the same.
disappointing to me. That
Yeah.
loses some of the, what could be just, hype and just anticipation of something new coming out. What 6 did he pick this year? And let's go check it out and try it, because you already have the small batch. That can be consistent and the same. I think the select should be every year. It's going to be
different.
something fun and
That
different.
would be cool, but like when we were at Four Roses, I asked that specific question
You did.
because I thought it would be cool as well. But no, they confirm it's the same recipes.
Yeah.
But I think that's why they
Discount.
have the small batch limited edition. So they do have that exploratory
but
sense where
you
they
can't get
do mix.
that.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
but
I
the-
can go buy the small batch select, and to be able to buy, I guess it's the
I
same
mean, for
point of a-
$3.50 you can get a bar.
Well, hey, Chris, let's have him get one and we can get a sample.
Yeah, yeah, Matt, that's all you.
I mean, I know people.
Just don't drink half a bottle.
Well,
yeah.
I was hoping that it would be a different answer, but that's all right. I still haven't had the select, so who am I to say? But I've heard it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It is
I mean,
The
for
song.
them, I think it's they're trying to stay consistent. When they came out with a small batch select, they were all for calling it the 4th rose. So in the 4th rose being the first one being just the yellow label, then the small batch, the single barrel, and then the 4th rose is the small batch select. So it's one of their products that you'll always be able to find on the shelf. It's always going to be very similar, very consistent to what you can come to expect from that product.
I think they're
I
still
get that.
experimenting.
But
right?
that's
They're
the one
still
I was hoping
experimenting.
they would experiment with.
That's what because they already had the small batch, I was hoping the same thing.
Yeah.
That would be one that would be kind of a every year.
Yeah.
Mix
Look
it
out
up a
for it.
little.
Well, I think the big difference is that this
Yeah.
one's non-chill filtered, whereas all the other 3 products,
Are chill
the other
filtered.
3 roses are chill filtered.
Right, right.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Well, I would say, can we get into this
Yeah, let's
Russell?
dive
into
I
this.
mean, this sounds good.
Oh, it tastes good.
Oh, it does already. Yeah, it already tastes good.
I haven't tried any of them. I can tell you from the nose, I already have 3 winners.
and I got to tell you, I like that we kind of cover the states a little bit. We got Chicago covered, we
Yeah, a
got
little bit
Houston
forever.
covered, we got Mississippi covered, we got South Carolina covered. And we got Louisiana covered.
Yep.
Lots of really good picks
That's
coming
pretty
from
cool.
all of these states.
It's pretty cool that we
Yeah.
got 5 of them here in 5 different states. That's kind of cool.
And a couple solid hitters as far as reliable sources for picks.
Yeah.
Denny's, you know, we got Hocus Pocus
Finish.
and who did
Lincoln.
H-Town?
What's the
H-Town?
H-Town? No.
Focus, focus.
Wade did the Sweet 99. Who did
Okay.
the H-Town pick? Do you guys know?
So supposedly, I think that was.
Wade did Sweet
And-
99.
I think HBS was basically part of that pick. I
Oh,
think
were
it was
they?
Okay.
Chris Hart, Wade, and
Okay.
you know the normal HBS people.
Todd
But they,
Grube.
right, but they wanted to
I like Chicago
kind of
too.
put out a bottle without the hype of having the HBS label on it,
Chicago's
and
good.
just kind of see how everybody reacted to it. So for a long time, a lot of people were hyping up that J.J. Watt, you know,
Yeah,
pick
the
the
99.
Sweet 99 pick as
Yeah.
his number 99. But again, it was just a way for them to kind of pick a barrel and put it out there without the hype of everybody chasing down an HBS pick. And, you know, pretty much everybody reacted kind of like they expected to, but everybody went kind of nuts over it.
Yeah.
That's taters. That's taters again. I mean, I just remember and I think Christopher Hart and Todd Grube and all the admins and moderators in HBS during the COVID stuff did a great job on the 2 Four Roses picks that came out, which were the Robusto and the Mr. Pink during this pandemic. And I didn't get a bottle of either, but I thought it was a very fair process. They put it on whatever that site is that you had to go in and log in and try to buy
Well,
one. And
it's always limited, right? Any bottle's gonna be limited.
there's 100 and whatever bottles, and there's
Like
almost
8,000
10,000
yeah, 10,000
members in
members.
the group. So my expectation of getting a bottle was very low. But to see the taters after people didn't get a bottle, just
Playing
reaming
and
people,
upset.
And re about it. Yeah.
I'm still looking for a Robusto. I can't find it.
I'll bring it to the Four Roses.
Do you have one?
I do.
I got a Mr. Pink.
I've got a Mr. Pink.
I have a
Daryl
Robusto.
hooked me up with that. He was very kind. He's like, "Did you get one?" I go, "Nope." He goes, "I got one for you."
I have a Robusto.
Okay, you're now invited to the Four Roses.
Oh, thank you.
I had to trade our buddy Brant King something good for Mr. Pink.
He didn't just give it to you? Why the pause?
No, he did not.
I traded our friend Chris O'Mara.
Oh, did you trade
for the
him?
Robusto, yes.
Yeah, I hit him up, but I think I hit him up too late because he said I already got rid of them. What I have left, I got to keep one for me.
Are you a big fan of tobacco notes in general?
I am.
I'm a big fan of the earthy notes. I like Russell's and all the nutty.
I love tobacco.
So do I.
Not a
That-
big
that-
cigar
that-
smoker. I'm trying to get into it, but if somebody's smoking one or a pipe,
That's
I like
why
a
that-
pipe
that-
better than
so,
a
so,
cigar.
so that's why I bought my pipe tonight.
You brought a pipe?
I did.
We might have to light up I don't have a lot of good cigars, but I have a cigar.
Full
we can
of
light up.
legal stuff.
No, it's actually straight tobacco.
We may have to light up a cigar after dinner tonight.
Well, I,
Actually,
mean,
the-
I wouldn't
the-
be opposed.
Do you
Actually,
smoke
the-
cigars?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Actually, the tobacco I brought is they no longer make it. It's a Frog Morton from the cellar. So it's actually tobacco aged with a wood stay from a
Really?
a whiskey barrel. Yes.
I'm curious to see, and I'm anxious to see the kind of pipe you have. Just makes me think of my grandfather. When I'm older than you guys. I'm 51, so I remember my grandfather sitting around the kitchen table smoking his pipe, and
It's a different
having
experience.
to continue
Yeah.
to pack it and
Yeah, I mean-
light it. And
It's kind of like a whole process.
It is a
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
Yeah.
What I enjoy, right? I mean, I'm not smoking a full cigar, right?
Yeah.
So I can change it up.
yeah,
It's basically like what, 1/8 of the size of a regular cigar.
Yeah, I like
so,
that.
Like a Churchill. So.
Man,
all right. Have you guys tasted any of these yet?
I've
I'm
tasted
nosy.
all of them.
I'm
tasted
through
all.
4. I'm on my last
I've done
one.
all of them.
I don't have a first place yet, but I have a last place.
I have a first place.
But we can all agree that the differences are subtle on the nose, at least to me. I haven't tasted any yet, but on the
Taste.
nose,
I don't know.
They're
Oh my
so
God.
different on the taste,
The
and
taste is
especially
every
the
one of
finish. Like I have some that are falling off. They taste very watered down, very thin, not very exciting at all. And I have some that I don't say cloying, but really,
Yeah.
Spicy.
attack the
and
tongue a little bit. Yeah.
So I'll give you my first impressions because I like to, just blurt everything out. I don't know why. I went through and nosed all these, and the Hocus Pocus pick was least favorite on the nose.
agree.
It's lower on mine.
However,
To me, there's not a lot of nose there.
there's
the
not.
finish is ridiculous.
Phenomenal.
It's
It
super.
is abs-
Lasts for days. Lasts for days.
It's super spicy,
It
Yeah.
is-
which I
it-
like. I love spice.
Which, to me, that sometimes that's it. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like this one a lot, but sometimes, like, I like that full balance between the nose and the finish. It does not have that, but man, it has a finish. And I don't know if you guys are getting this from the Lincoln Road pick. It almost tastes like a rye.
It does.
It's
I
got
get
like the nose of a rye,
That's a Mississippi.
Correct.
and it has a taste of a rye, and it just I don't know why.
I think it's got a little bit of that peppery spiciness to it.
It's the baking
Yeah.
spices.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
up
baking
front,
spices.
it's very peppery and spicy, and then it's just baking spices.
It
I don't-
really
As
is.
it fades,
For me, the Chicago, the Benny's, is the worst one.
Me too. Me
Really?
Too.
Yeah.
It's super cloying. It's like in your face. Just
It's
I
sweet
burn
up
your
front
throat.
and then
Just-
disappears.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Like I don't get any much finish. It's, sometimes when I don't get a lot of finish, I'll call it maybe the whiskey a little rounded. It's got some sweetness to it, but this just falls off.
So-
hard for
I
me.
feel like the South Carolina is still like.
I
top
love
one.
the South Carolina. It's very well rounded.
It's balanced.
Did anybody get another pick when that was offered? Another bottle when that was offered the other day?
I tried to, but then I guess Ben left the store.
I may have to get another one of those. I passed on it.
I
But
just
I
have
think
this
I'm gonna.
one. All is this one.
I think I'm gonna. You saw where my bottle is. I think
This
I'm
one
gonna-
Look at my.
with the
You're good.
Yeah.
with the South Carolina one, it definitely has more oak to it.
it's woodier on
Oh.
the nose.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's woodier on the nose, but it also has more of like an oak presence. I don't know how best to explain it, but
It
Yeah.
has the oak and also like a leathery kind of.
it does have a leathery
Mhm.
taste to it,
Yeah.
which I
It's
enjoy.
it's not musty
No,
but-
not at all. Not
at all, but it is leathery
It's leather.
for sure.
It's the leather essence. I
I'm
would
not
say.
big on the tobacco notes, like as opposed to some other people here.
That pin.
I'm not big on the tobacco notes, but this one,
Thanks, sir.
this one has more of a leathery, like oaky sandalwood maybe kind of thing going on to it, but it does not have the tobacco. To me,
Yeah, Benny's is like it's just one note.
Yeah.
There's
it's
no
very
there's no
one-dimensional.
roller coaster. It's just like it's flat.
what do you guys
just
think about the
fall off.
HDX or the
H-Town?
H-Down?
It's got some spice on it to me.
I
has
think
all
it's
I thought it had a
decent.
little more bite on it. at
It's on the
back.
side of the tongue.
Yeah, on the back.
Like
end.
on the back sides of the tongue, which I like.
It's not bad. It's not my favorite.
Me either. I had it as fourth.
Yeah,
Really,
So-
fourth?
Yeah, it's probably middle of the pack for
Yeah.
I think it's middle. I don't know about fourth.
so
I
my
haven't ranked
my
it,
real
so-
debate is second place. First place I have it, but like second place is kind of a debate.
For me, first is still South Carolina.
Well, here we won't
I'm with
say
you.
them, but just grab some paper on the back. We'll write them down in the order, and then we'll compare how we rank them.
I've got an idea.
Go ahead.
Since we did the bakers in the beginning and we selected the bakers in the beginning, so we've got 110 proof here. We got 107 proof for the bakers. Should we do a comparison of our favorite Russell's pick versus the bakers that we picked in the beginning?
No, because these are all the same proof.
But it's
Right.
like 3 degrees is what he's saying.
I'm saying it's
Yeah.
like 107
gonna-
versus
Here's
110.
what I'm going to say. You got me out here now with 25 glasses, and you're asking me to get 5 more.
No. I'm saying the winner of this.
Oh, the winner.
Versus this
Okay,
blind.
versus
do it.
Bakers.
But
Yeah,
versus
absolutely.
this.
Yeah.
Way down. Way down.
I thought you meant throw it into the mix. It's
No.
the winner.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like the winner.
That I like. I like that idea. Because I'm probably not going to finish these. I'm going to.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to win.
I'm gonna finish
have
one
some
of
wine
them.
probably.
with dinner.
Yeah, for sure.
We're cooking some really good food tonight.
Nice young.
It's young.
It's very young.
Not even.
It is.
7:30.
You know, Matt. Come on. Dinner's not even on the.
It's not even 7:30, dude.
Yeah, it's
You're
only
not even
7:16.
hungry yet.
He's turning into pumpkin though.
I know, right?
Speaking of Ben, he just liked your post.
There you go.
Did he?
He did.
So did Rob Clark. It's weird.
Tater.
Tater.
Tater. Okay, so here's what I did. I tasted through H-Town to South Carolina. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to pull the Bourbon Junkies little.
Go backwards.
Go back.
Now I'm going to go South Carolina to H-Town.
I'm gonna pick my winners,
And then I'll pick my winners.
and then I'm gonna go through these.
Chicago's super chocolatey too, though.
Chicago's good. It's just it's plain.
It's
There's
just, yeah.
There's
It
not
reminds me
much
of
to
a lot
it.
of like the makers like mocha staves.
What's the
Yeah.
age on that one? It looks lighter.
The Chicago?
Yeah, much lighter. I don't know if your all's glasses, if it's just the light on mine, but it looks lighter in the glass than.
So it was distilled 11/23/11, bottled 5/27/20. So it's
Same age.
9 year, 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm
It's right in
assuming
there.
it's probably similar warehouse, similar.
Warehouse G, floor 4.
Oh, gee.
That's a rye.
Yeah. I honestly don't own any G bottles, so.
I don't either. I like it.
I do too. Like so this Lincoln Road pick, it's a rye. I mean, it
It's
tastes
spicy.
like a rye.
Yeah,
Which one? The Lincoln Road?
The Lincoln Road.
Yeah.
yeah. That's
It's
my
spicy.
that's my number 2
Yeah, it's spicy. I like it.
so far.
Don't say.
Let's write it down. But it's spicy. I like it.
Ask for the pen when you're ready, and I'll pass it on. You ready?
Oh, I gotta nose it real fast.
I'm just
Good.
placing.
There's 5, right?
Yeah. Okay. I know my order.
Don't say.
I won't.
Write them down.
Sorry.
And we'll reveal.
I didn't know we weren't
I
saying.
think I got mine too.
Who's next?
Me.
I don't know. It's been a fun podcast.
Oh yeah.
This one's good.
Definitely.
All right, I'm going to hit you guys up, though. I've been on a roll on some bourbon podcasts, and the next couple, we're going to do the Four Roses, and then we're going to mix in a couple of wine podcasts
That's good for me.
before we go into the Michter's Rye Battle,
That works for me.
which Matt Carter, tell them what that podcast is going to be.
So yeah, so we're gonna do a Michter's 10. We're gonna do a Michter's barrel strength rye, and then we're going to do a finished rye, which we're gonna do a well, I guess it's
Toasted.
the toasted barrel strength rye, and
We'll
we
have multiple years of each.
we could have
possibly.
multiple years of each.
Yeah.
That we're gonna
Michter's Battle.
yeah,
Yes.
Michter's battle.
I feel like you got to throw the straight rye in there just to
We
point
should
of reference.
We
As
should.
a, yeah,
Standard
as a base,
offering.
Yeah,
I
as
think
a
that's
base.
a good point.
Yeah.
I have that bottle, so.
Yeah, we should do that too. But
I think Michter's gets, for their on-the-shelf everyday stuff, gets beat up a little bit. We mentioned this in another podcast, but I'm a fan. I don't know if you are, Lewis.
I like some of their stuff, but like their American whiskey gets a lot of hype. Not a big fan.
Never had that bottle. I'm a fan of their rye.
The straight rye.
Yep, I like their bourbon. And I'm a fan of the 86 proof sour mash, just as a nice little,
Yo,
Warm
I mean,
up
me
and-
too. The
yeah.
price point versus what you're getting, I feel like it's solid.
yeah.
But for I guess for me, when most people see Michter's, they're thinking, the M10, the toasted barrel, the barrel proof. So when they see the regular offering on the shelves, they think that they're getting something special. And I don't think the regular stuff is something special. But the Michter's barrel strength rye, I would put that up against almost any other rye that's out there.
I think it's priced maybe $10 more than it should be.
Yes.
If it was in the 30s, that's a buy all day. Just because there's so many good ryes.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
You
at
know,
Pikesville at 45.
Pikesville, but you have like Rittenhouse, you have Sazerac.
The baby Saz at $23,
Yeah.
$26.
Yeah.
super cheap.
It's-
Old Forester
Old
rye.
Forester,
$23.
obviously.
Yeah.
But you have Knob Creek Rye as well.
Knob Creek rye.
Has anybody tried the new Elijah Craig rye?
We haven't.
I
it's
haven't.
not available
I haven't.
here.
I
haven't.
Yeah.
Wait, that was my question. Have you seen it anywhere?
I haven't.
No.
either.
I haven't
Not
seen
here
it
in
this
Houston. I mean,
market.
I've
No.
seen it obviously online and secondary.
It's
but
in like
It-
7 states, and they're like,
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Glenn.
no. I'm just saying they're nowhere near us.
But it makes me bring up another topic. Four Roses Guru. There was a rumor last year, and I know COVID probably had a play in this, that Four Roses was putting out a rye.
So I've been to the Four Roses Distillery twice. talked to people on there, no one has been able to confirm
Okay.
that the
was
rye's
one that
coming
got me
out.
excited,
That the rye's
man.
coming out. Me too.
Yeah.
Being a Four O's guy and loving ryes, you never know, but haven't seen it.
It'll
Haven't
be
heard
like,
about it.
It'll be an OB plus.
Right? Yeah, maybe like a 16% more
Yeah.
more rye.
So do we have?
So we want to go through our rankings, or
Well, I got to write them down. Did you write yours down?
I
You
just
just know
have
'em?
mine.
I'm going to let Lewis write his
spaced
down,
out.
and I'll write mine down. But I have mine,
Roger that.
and I'm going to be curious to see how close we are. But,
I,
but that's what makes bourbon fun, right? Everybody's palate's a little different. What you like, I might like, but I might like this better.
yeah, definitely.
There's no wrong answer.
But I would also
I
say.
mean, I think you've got a Thomas H. Handy 2012 in there.
That's
you
going
know.
to be an after dinner pour.
Yeah,
That's going to be a,
yeah.
You know, there's no
definitely.
wrong answer unless you like the Q.
Yeah. If you're a Q pick
If you're a
fan,
Q fan, if you like the Q yeast strain, maybe there's a wrong, but in general, yeah, you like whiskey the way you like it, however you like it.
Oh,
That's the best way
man.
to drink it.
But so I would almost say all of these. I like all of these. There's not one I wouldn't drink. There's just ones I favor over others.
I agree.
Would that be the same with you guys?
I agree.
I agree.
100%.
But I would say this. When I drank the Chicago, the Benny's, the first time on its own, I thought it was great. But when you put it up against other ones, you go, it's not as great
It's
as I
not
thought
as
it
good.
was.
That's why blinding
It's-
is a good thing to do.
I mean,
Or
you
even side by
really
sides,
need to
yeah.
do
Yeah.
that. Just
Definitely,
to give you some.
absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
we should. I think between you and I, we've got all of the Elijah Craig barrel proofs from the past 2 years, if not the past 3 years.
I did a show before you guys, all 9 from 17, 18, and 19.
Yep.
Which was a fun day. Started with Elijah Craig 18.
That was a
went
long
into
day.
You were part of that, right?
I was.
And then we went into the 23 to finish. But
Which one came out on top?
well, it was different for
Everybody had a
each
different.
different one.
Okay.
Well, so it was split between two. So it was two groups that me and one other
4 of
guy
us.
that preferred a different profile, and Rob and another guy preferred another profile, and so it's sort of a commonality that whenever we did tastings, that it was almost polarized like that. So, but it was very interesting going through the years that as we went through the years, whenever one of those profiles would show up with one of those bottles, one of the groups would choose it, one of the others wouldn't.
Let me ask you guys, you 3 here, do you have a favorite? Let's say 4 years since we got the A120 and the B520 out, and I don't know if you guys have had it or found it yet, but throw them in there in case you have. Do you have a favorite? The last
520.
520.
Easily.
Okay.
Yeah, I blinded it a couple times and it always wins out.
Yeah.
Carter?
So I had B520 last night. I blinded it versus A120.
120.
I liked A120 better.
Okay.
I would agree. A120.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I really like the 520, B520, but my all-time favorite was the C918. So I probably need to do a little kind of update that. Maybe we'll do an updated show on that since there's been a couple more come out and put them against.
Well, the thing is, like, I really like the C919 when it first came out. I was like, this is one of the best freaking things that I've had. And then the A120 came out, and I blinded those two, and I was like, all right, I like A120 better. And then B520, I just cracked it last night, so maybe like it needs some time to open up a little bit. But I blinded.
Wait. Whiskey's open up?
Not according to Wade.
Yeah.
Well, according to me, they do.
I just had to throw that out.
They do.
but
100%.
to me, they do. But whatever, like there's a big difference between a neck pour and.
Well, I agree with
yeah,
that.
It's
something.
just science. It
And do
does.
you have a favorite? What's your favorite of the barrel proofs?
So recently, yeah, I would agree with these guys. Well, so I would say A120.
So
Okay.
I fell in love with A120 when it first came out. I thought it was one of the best Elijah Craig barrel proofs that I ever had, even comparing it to the old labels. And then 520 came out, and I blinded them, and I picked 520 as my favorite twice.
Okay.
Blind, you know.
We
so
need to update, maybe just go back 3 years and just kind of update it and do
Yeah.
18, 19, and 20.
And then we can get Uber over here and all that kind of stuff.
Or have
All right,
the,
so-
the ladies.
For this Russell's, let's go. Who wants to start with their order of the top 5? We've got the South Carolina, Mississippi, H-Town, Louisiana, and Chicago.
I'll go first, I guess. So I think my first is definitely South Carolina still.
Okay.
I still think that's pretty special.
Yeah. So
Um,
who else has that one?
Yeah, who else has that?
I had South Carolina as number 1.
I did too.
So only one
So-
automatic now is Lewis.
I have it as number 2.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
everybody basically has it.
You had it as number 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lewis has it as number 2.
Yeah, so close.
So-
My second was Mississippi.
Ha, my second one.
So that was my
Also
second.
my second one.
What was your first, Lewis?
Mississippi.
Okay.
Oh,
Right. So,
Oh,
so
yeah,
we're
yeah,
just
yeah.
flipped.
Yeah,
We're pretty
One and
close
two.
then. We're pretty close.
My third was H-Town.
Yep, that was my third.
That was number 3 for me as well.
No, I had Hocus Pocus pick number 3.
What
Me
you
too.
Lewis?
Okay.
Okay.
My fourth
So
was
you guys
Hocus
the same.
Pocus. That was my fourth. Was Hocus Pocus.
So that was my 4th as well.
Hocus Pocus.
What about same
I
with you,
had
Rob?
I had H Town. Yeah, it's
well,
my
yeah, right.
fourth.
So we were
Right,
circling
so-
that.
What'd you
what-
have as 4th?
H-Town is my 4th.
Okay.
You guys are
So
flipped.
we're all in agreement that Chicago is last.
Yeah.
Sounds like
it was so
And
compared
then-
to the rest of them, it's disappointed
Single
hard.
note.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
very
right.
single note.
It was single note, and then it just
And
like
there was a
fell
donut
off.
hole. There was a donut hole.
Yeah.
There
It
was
just
nothing there.
There's nothing there.
Just
But it's interesting that we're all basically on the
very close.
a couple
Yeah.
Super close.
flipped,
interesting.
but very similar.
I think Rob and I were like.
We were
equally-
spot on. You and I
five
were
for
exactly
five.
the same.
5 for 5. Yeah.
Were we too?
Yeah, we're all three of us were 5 right?
Yeah.
So I'll have to say, just
So, I just want to interrupt you real quick. That you and Lewis weren't that wrong. You guys were pretty close.
Just
yeah,
mostly
yeah.
wrong.
Well, me and Lewis are generally speaking, have the same palate when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Except he likes Woodford. You
Just
know.
the tip.
I'm gonna change your mind on this thing, man. I'm gonna
Wait. You
change your
said
mind.
Woodford.
Well, anything Brown Foreman.
I
Oh,
do,
okay.
Yeah.
dude.
I've not had a lot of Woodford product.
Okay.
Kind of changing.
Double oak, I like.
Now,
Okay,
what I have had
double
is-
oak.
I've had the double oak, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Double oak is just kind of
But
All right.
man, but for on the shelf, it's fantastic.
I would
mean,
agree. It's
like,
pretty
I
decent.
What is it about?
I like
Fif-
Woodford a lot also. so.
$55, something like that.
Yeah, oh, it's like
50.
50.
50.
Yeah.
50.
Okay.
You think it's better than Rare Breed?
I do. But if it were higher proof,
Not
I
even
would.
close.
Yeah,
For
I
me.
wouldn't either.
If it were higher proof, it would absolutely be
All
better
right,
than
we're
Rare
getting.
Breed. All right, yeah,
We're getting
yeah.
distracted. We're getting distracted.
That's
We're getting distracted.
nitpicking now.
So
That'll be next podcast.
But we
Yeah.
all agree that
South Carolina was number 1.
South
Yes.
Carolina's number 1.
Yep.
And with you guys,
I can agree with that. It's really, really good.
it's really
Super
good.
good.
But just in general, the point of this was Wild Turkey and the Russell's family, Jimmy and Eddie, put out some great product that's available on the shelf all the time.
All the
These are all
time.
picks,
Yeah.
but just they're the same as a single barrel. I
Yeah.
mean, it's still a single barrel what you're going to get off
Would you
the
say it's a
shelf.
sleeper?
Oh yeah, along with the bakers that
I-
we're gonna blind it again.
Yeah.
I would because at the price point that it's at,
Right?
I think it is a hitter. Like
I think Wild Turkey in general is that way. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people had the perception that I did is that it was an old college get drunk
I
whiskey.
think so too, right?
Yeah.
Well, you
And-
could say that about Four Roses too. I mean, when I was in college, at least you
Yeah.
know.
Or
what-
makers. You know?
Well, you're
Yeah,
like
makers.
you're 4 years younger than me, so
Just 4. That's all.
Jesus.
why are you laughing like that?
I mean, yeah, that's right. But yeah,
all
like
right,
what-
all right. He's
But
22 years younger than me.
I do think Russell's Reserve is still easier to find than a lot of the higher end Four Roses stuff.
It is, and that's the problem
Yeah.
with Four Roses. And to be honest with you, I never heard of Four Roses growing up. I mean, again, I wasn't into bourbon, but it was always Wild Turkey, Jim Beam, Jack Daniels. That's what you. I grew up in the country in Missouri, so that's what you. Got.
Four Roses was in like I think of the yellow label.
Me too.
I think of the plastic bottle.
But the yellow label, let's be honest, it sucks.
Well, it could have that OBSF in it.
it does have the OBSF.
Are you
in
a
it,
fan of the yellow
but
label?
it's
Lewis?
watered
I am
down.
not a fan of the yellow label,
Me neither.
but what he was talking about, so the barrel that we really wanted to pick ended up getting dumped into yellow
Yeah.
label. So
Are you gonna go buy a bunch of yellow label for the next couple of years, hoping you get that?
No, definitely not. But it's very crushing thing about that barrel dying into a batch of yellow
Well,
label.
I think last August we had a barrel we had to choose from that was like super low also. I don't remember the recipe.
We
I haven't- I have no
did.
notes, though.
I'd have to look back on it, but yeah, we did.
Yeah.
There was another one, but it was super low.
60 bottles low.
It was like literally
It was something like that.
like this much left in the barrel.
One of the craziest parts about that experience was seeing actually the barrel full, because obviously the barrel's just
Oh yeah.
an oval or a
Of course.
a cylinder. So seeing how low they let those barrels get down to, where it only is going to have 50 bottles.
No, literally, there was this one barrel. She's like, well, just to let you know, this is how much is in the barrel left. I mean, that was ridiculous.
But they're still going to charge you like
Colors
12
help
grand
me.
for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So when I had
They're making their money off it, for sure.
So when I was in Jamaica a couple of years ago, what was interesting was they take a lot of ex-bourbon barrels and ex-whiskey barrels. And
Can I cut you off real quick?
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
keep that thought?
Yeah.
Let's dump, pour South Carolina if you got any left, and let's do the Bakers and do our comparison.
Yeah, we should do that.
And then go ahead with your story.
You tell me when.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So what I would say is like as far as like going to Jamaica, what was really interesting is in that tropical climate and all that kind of thing. Basically, looking at these barrels, these ex-bourbon barrels, where they're aging rum, how quickly the evaporation actually takes place. I mean, we went to Appleton, and I think once you got to the 20-year mark, I mean, you're at like 1/8 of the barrel full. Like, it's ridiculous. So, anyway, yeah, I think that has.
Angels here for you, right?
That's right. That's right. Well, I think that was part of the reason that OBSF was so good. It took so much of the good stuff from the barrel.
And it wasn't that high of proof,
It's just amazing. Anyway,
You guys keep talking. I'm going to throw some wood on that fire so we can get ready to cook in here in a second. Who needs Bakers?
I do.
I need
I'm
a
good.
You need Bakers?
I need the Russells.
Russell's is the.
Bakers up against the South Carolina Russell's Reserve. Let's pick a winner, and then let's talk beer.
Yeah.
While you guys talk beer, I'm going to go cook food.
I'm going with South Carolina. The Russell Reserve South Carolina pick. It's my winner.
For me as well, it's got more spice. It's got more full bodied. The finish lasts a little bit longer. The Bakers blew us away compared to the William Heaven Hill, Bald and Bond, but at 10 proof more, the South Carolina really.
I'm going to agree with that. Why I'm kind of stumbling and hesitating is that means there's probably two bourbons I like tonight that are on the shelf better than the William Heaven Hill, and that disappoints me a little bit.
It happens though, right? I mean, that's part of the journey.
Yeah,
The trying to go out in the wild and find stuff.
yeah, in the wild. On my bourbon journey.
Yeah, I think I like the Baker 7, honestly, more than the Wild Turkey or the Russell's Reserve.
Carter?
Guys, I'm gonna say this is the most difficult blind of the night. Well, the most difficult, like, we know what these bourbons are,
Yeah.
but the most difficult comparison of the night. There is something about the Bakers that just, like, it hits you, like, the finish is good, and then there's, like, a resurgence, and the finish,
It's
like,
a roller coaster.
it comes again.
Yeah.
And there's something about that Baker's that I like just slightly above
Okay.
the South Carolina. However, what I will say is the South Carolina, if I have to pick complete nose finish, complete bourbon, the South Carolina wins.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make you pick. What's your favorite out of the two? Because you kind of just left me hanging there.
I think I'm going to go Baker's just because
Okay.
the finish is
So
so
we got
good.
2 South Carolina,
3.
3 South Carolina, 2 Bakers. Okay, so South Carolina is the winner tonight.
But you guys have to agree, this was not
It's hard.
easy.
No, it's
No,
not hard.
There's not a bad whiskey among the group.
But
Yeah.
Go ahead, Glenn.
the unfortunate bit is that, like, unfortunately, the Bakers, the South Carolina is a single barrel, right? The Bakers, granted, it's single barrel,
It's blended.
but
Well, no, it's a single. Yeah, it's a single. You're right.
it's a single barrel, but it's harder to find and it's no longer to find. Like,
Yeah, but you're not going to find that barrel either. They're
That-
both
well-
not going to find anymore.
I guess I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Did we talk about what warehouse and floor the South Carolina is?
So this particular South Carolina,
Is Warehouse B, floor 4.
all right.
Which I don't
So
know if you
middle-
guys kept up with a lot of the
middle of the
recent
warehouse.
Russell Reserves picks, but the last, I feel like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 picks that came through Houston were all F6s. So I think we have one representing the Kentucky Ghost. One is an F6. The last maybe 3 or 4 picks that I've had have also been F6s from, I think
I've had a
the
bunch-
recent Total Wine pick was an F6. The recent Specs picks has been an F6. The recent Blind pick was an F6.
I've had a bunch of Warehouse A's recently with higher floors that have been that were really amazing picks.
Do you know if they were Tyrone or Camp Nelson picks?
So the Benny's is a
It's
Tyrone
hard-
C.
Yeah.
A Tyrone C.
Yeah.
So I've heard, not really digging too much into it, but the Tyrone A's are supposed to be
Okay.
the most sought after, the most kind of exciting ones
Yeah.
recently.
So what I understand is the A warehouses are the original warehouses, whether they're Tyrone or not. That they, they're original brick buildings and just produce amazing stuff. Everything I've had from Warehouse A has been phenomenal.
We've declared that South Carolina, Russell's Reserve, just under 10 years, slightly better than the Bakers, but both are fantastic. I mean, if you can find that Baker's 8-year, 6-month on the shelf, $50 to $55.
Get it.
I mean, I'm not. Again, I told you guys earlier.
Absolutely.
You've had a bottle. You've had a bottle.
If you can find
We haven't
either,
had a bottle.
get it.
I'm about to go out looking for one.
I've been
It's
looking
really
for
good.
it
It's really good.
since I don't know when. I think it's gone. I do, but
Well, I'm pretty sure your bottle's pretty much gone now.
it is
Yeah.
gone. You
Well,
dings.
I mean-
Sorry, man.
I'm gonna ask friends to see if anybody's got an extra bottle of that, because that's
it's good.
But
really good.
I'm pretty hopeful because most people, they're not looking for Baker single barrel, certain,
It's the 8-year, 6-month. You
I
gotta
think that
find
could be
that
the
bottle.
Dusty.
I gotta
That's
I
what I'm
gotta
saying. I
Yeah.
feel like it might still be
Yeah.
around. So
Yeah.
I got a quick question for everybody. Would you trade an Old Weller Antique
Yes.
for that bottle?
Yes.
Hands down.
Easy.
Yes.
Yes.
After the exercise we went through tonight,
easy.
I knew I liked it. I didn't realize how much I liked it. It's good.
Yeah.
Until we did
No,
that line.
it's-
You know who I'm going to give credit to, right? The ladies.
Yeah, they did
They
a great
brought
job.
that to the light.
Thank you, ladies.
Fantastic.
Y'all
Yeah.
crushed it.
They did crush it. And
Brittany,
it
you
sounds
picked
like
some
it was
really,
Brittany who did that. Yeah.
Brittany picked some really good bottles.
Yeah. She
My
did
wife
good.
had nothing to do with it, but I
Your
love
wife
her
and my
anyway.
wife just went, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, do that.
They're drinking wine in there.
Guys, I appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us over, man. It's
Yeah.
been a
So
real
sure.
blast.
The night's young.
We're going to mix in some wine shows coming up. And we're going to do a Four Roses, all 10 recipes. So remember to get your Uber.
Can we get a champagne show?
Oh, can we do champagne and pizza?
Yes.
Can I set up cameras and do YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah.
We should.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's set in stone. So we'll do those. So a lot of good upcoming shows. Going to be a lot of fun. If you're not invited, get on Food, Wine, and Whiskey in your own backyard on Facebook. Ask for an invite, and we'll look at your profile and see if we want to invite you. Is that fair?
100%.
Yes.
Sounds fair. Sounds
yes.
fair.
More than likely, you'll be invited, but you got to get on Food One. That means you've listened to the end of the show, and if you have, and you ask for an invite to our next get-together, you will be invited. Fair enough?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sounds very. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
So that was a fun show, guys. Appreciate you guys coming out.
Definitely.
Thank you to everyone who listened to this episode of Food, Wine, and Whiskey in your own backyard. And until our next episode, enjoy your next pour.